I'm going to share how to actually enjoy and relish being alone. Normally, being alone is going to cause a lot of uncomfortable feelings, right? Like we don't really want to be alone. We want to be in relationship. We want to be around people. It's hard to be with our own thoughts. So we will watch videos or podcasts or listen to music or watch TV. Like we don't want to have this silence because then the chatter just starts to drive us crazy or we're just literally uncomfortable with it. And when I was in my early 20s, I remember that I absolutely hated to be alone. So much so I worked nights at the time. And anytime I had a night off of no plans, I wasn't hanging out with friends or with my boyfriend or I just had like a free night, I would freak out. Like my whole body would just viscerally be uncomfortable and not know what to do with myself. And I forget about this energy that I used to be in because now I just relish in alone time. And it is this almost rite of passage that we have to take. And we're not really taught this. We're not, I mean, in my opinion, we're not taught a lot of things that are actual, genuinely impactful life skills that will just change the trajectory of your life. And that's mostly what I want to share on this channel of what has helped me change my life the hard way of me just like figuring shit out. By the way, my name is Stormy. Welcome to the flirty side of the internet where we get to flirt with our future selves. This is where we put fun back into personal development. So this is my little spiel of that, of the flirty future broadcast. Okay, being alone and the skill of being alone. And if you master this skill of being alone, your life will change. It literally does. Because one, you're not settling for just spending your time with people that are like wasting your time, either with friends or relationships or activities that you actually don't enjoy. So when you master the skill of being alone, you're able to actually be and have more discernment in your life of like what you're allowing through your filter. So your filter becomes like less big holes and it starts to become more fine. And you're like, actually, I value myself, my time, and my energy so much that I don't need to have that in my space. I went from this process and it takes a lot of, honestly, it takes a couple of things. It takes practice, it takes exposure therapy, and it takes mini sessions. So we'll get into a little bit more about what that means. So practice in the way that you have to continuously practice at being alone. It's not like you're going to just be alone once and then be like, okay, like now I get it. Like I can be alone now. Like no, it literally takes genuine practice. And that's where the exposure therapy is because like you're having exposure therapy to yourself, not like to like being seen or to other things that you might be trying to get used to. Like you're literally exposing you to you. And it's almost like you're getting to allowing yourself to get to know you like you would a date. And this is what I like to talk about with like our flirty future self because we get to flirt with our future self just like we would flirt with a crush or a partner or everything that you want to soak up and get to know about that person. You want to you know their schedule, you know what they like, you know their favorite color, what they like to eat, you know where to take them. Like, you just end up really knowing these like nuanced, detailed things because you're interested in them. You want them to know that you're interested. And that's what you could do with your future self is that you get to learn about all these little nuanced things of your future self and flirt with that energy so you can become her. And this is literally a really big step to your flirty future self is getting to know yourself and allowing yourself be alone because how can you get to know who you want to become if you don't know who you are right now, what you like and what you don't like? Okay. So exposure therapy to yourself. Are you spending enough time with yourself to expose yourself to your thoughts, to your wants, to your desires, to what you're comfortable with and what you're not comfortable with, you know? Okay. And then the third thing I want to talk about is the mini sessions. So you could start literally with just 15 minutes, a half hour, an hour, just little tiny sections of time to get to know yourself. And maybe in those sessions, one 15-minute session with yourself, you're going to journal and you're just going to free write, free write, free write, free write. Maybe you've never done that before and you're like, that's uncomfortable. I don't want to do that. Why? That's weird. Maybe you're like, Stormy, I literally have a diary and I journal every day. Like, that's not a big deal. Okay. So, congratulations, graduate to the next step. So, you could journal, you could go for a walk. And when you go for a walk, you literally are just being with yourself. So, you're not listening to any music, you're not listening to a podcast, you're not listening to YouTube. You're literally just with yourself. And not all the times you have to just be so silent. I want to just let you know that. Like in the beginning, the micro sessions that you have, you need to learn how to be comfortable with yourself. And maybe it's not even like being so intentional with journaling or a walk. Another way to do it is like when you're in the car and you're alone with yourself in the car, instead of turning music on or doing what you do in the car, can it be silent and you can just be with yourself? Can you handle just being with your own energy in the car with nothing on? That's another practice. Another thing that I would recommend doing is going to a cafe, having cafe dates, or even going out to dinner. That's like the next kind of threshold, is like taking yourself out to dinner. So when you are practicing being alone, you're being intentional with yourself, like you're dating yourself, like you're dating somebody. So you want to spend time with them. You want to get to know them. You want to know the ins and outs of them. That's what that process kind of looked like for me over the years in my 20s, of little stages of steps. So I used to not ever want to be alone. And then taking myself out for dinner. I remember this in New York City, the first time I took myself out for dinner. Then you get to enjoy a meal on yourself and with yourself. And you're like, okay, I can do that. That seems really easy to me. And then from there, I then went and backpacked the world by myself. So I took myself alone across the world. So I say this because like if I could do that, and I started with being so uncomfortable and not even knowing what to do with myself, like you can do that too. And it just is literally exposing yourself. It's practice and having sessions with yourself, dating yourself. And that is the skill that you start to build. And when you go through this process, because you're so comfortable with yourself and because you're so comfortable being alone, then you have more discernment and more filters to who you allow into your life. So maybe your standards or your caliber of friendship and dating partnership is then to be a little bit more kind of, you're raising the bar a little bit, because you're like, I don't need to have somebody with me all the time. I can actually be with myself. So if you're not adding to my life, if you don't feel additive to me in my life, then I actually don't need you in my life. Like, that's going to allow you to have all these different options and choices and not feel like that you have to pick something or someone just to fill the space. And nobody wants to be like a space filler. Like I know many of us do that, especially when we were younger and you're just like dating to date and to not be alone and you're filling the void. And we can do that with people, with things, with food, the same thing. Like whatever you're filling the void of, can you just sit with whatever that is, sit with that feeling and say, okay, this is uncomfortable. I'm going to feel this. I'm going to let it pass through my body. And then I will get to the other side. This is temporary. It will get better. So just practice and just take your little baby steps. And pretty soon you will feel really comfortable being alone. And it'll turn into something that you were trying to avoid. And then it will start to turn into something that you literally absolutely can't live without. Fast forward to my experiences, when I don't have enough alone time, I can't deal. Like I need space to just be with myself. And then you'll be able to have even more of a better compass navigating system, because you're like, oh, okay, I've gotten to know myself. I know what I need. I can self-soothe. I know the things that I, need from myself. Sometimes you're like, okay, when you feel that like uncomfortable feelings in a day and you're going through these emotions, like, do you need to meditate? Do I need to journal? Do I need to go outside? Do I need to go to the gym? Do I need to stay inside? Do I need to go outside? Do I need to touch the grass? Like you just start to kind of know the nooks and crannies of yourself. And then you're able to just navigate life a little bit better, because you're just like, okay, like I know myself, I can be with myself, and this is what I can provide for myself. So it'll swing back to the other way where you're like, oh my gosh, like I need my alone time. I need my own energy. I need to take myself on dates. Like this is something that I hold and I cherish. And that's a really beautiful thing, to like go from total avoidance to like, I need myself. And that starts to kind of lessen the severity of needing anything else outside of yourself. Then you start to feel content with yourself. And you're like, okay, well, I don't need all of these things that I thought I needed, because I actually just learned to be content with myself, to be with myself, and to love myself. So another way that when you start to practice being alone, it's another way that you're starting to practice to love and honor and cherish yourself. So think about that. Start with those little practices. If you want more of a series on this, I have a lot more tips and like opinions about alone time because it is something that a big thing that I actually struggled with in my 20s. And I feel so confident in it now. So if you even have like just very little nuanced things, I could expand on this topic a little bit more if you're interested. Stay flirty out there, flirt with your future self. Until then, see you later.